looking for it. The
It's a
chat
loving
there.
flame. It's like a scolding mother.
The loving
Yeah,
flame.
yeah.
Let's see. So Naz banned out Warhead. Handshake banned Braxis. Team Naz have elected to take us to the Cursed Hollow.
Cursed. I love this map. It's my favorite map of all time. I think it promotes the most interesting drafts. And there's so many different win conditions. I love this flippin' map. Do you remember last game we watched with Cursed Hollow? The
I,
Abather comp?
how could I forget?
Yeah, it was so wild. Like that's the sort of stuff that I hope we get to see. Yeah, because like I said, majorly diverse drafts from this map. And yeah, just there's so many upsets that can happen. There's two bosses and they're highly contested all the time. Like it's such a great map. I love it so much.
I agree, man. I mean, we saw some clutch Falstad play on Towers of Doom. That is a hero that can get you all. That hero can single-handedly win you the game with a well-timed boss steal. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see that show up. I'm looking in the chat now. Ammo 2429 said easy $10.
True. I tweeted it out as well. So yeah, if you guys
All right,
missed it, go send pictures of Ginger Dread Nazebo to @Haloran and on Twitter, and he'll donate $10 if he gets 5 of them. Just 5. This is
just
10, but
5.
divide that by 2.
I've got some notifications already. No Ginger Trend and Zebo just yet. Am I stoned? No. Let's see. I will play. All right. So it looks like. All right. So Firm Handshake is on the right, which would mean Team Nez is on the left. So let me update that because I'm good at this and I know what I'm doing.
You are good
All
at
right.
this. Thank you for being such a fantastic host, man. On the real, you're lovely.
Oh. It's easy to have a good time casting with the Fox of Hearts, the Kitsune of Heroes, the community coach, our neighborhood friendly Kalamaka. Am I hecka comfortable in that chair? I feel pretty good.
Oh my gosh, I love your laugh so much. Best thing in the world.
Yeah, I've been told I have something of a sinister laugh every now and again. I'm the Green Power Ranger. Don't tell anybody that, man. Secret's out. Yeah, keep it a secret.
There's Rennie who want flame. See, she knows. Welcome to the Cursed Hollow.
See, Sam Lee he's old school. So let me make sure I got the music playing. Games that are muted because I'm good at. Like I said, I know what I'm doing. All right.
Okay.
So, Kyle, this might be back before even you and I met.
Oof. Hey,
so when I started casting in Chair League, I thought it'd be funny. And now I'm not gonna go into the story on how this came to be, but I had this Green Ranger onesie pajama thing, right?
What?
Oh, right, okay. So that's out there. So I sent out this tweet. I was like, hey, if I get like a certain amount of people to like and to retweet that I'm casting Chair League tonight, I will wear the Green Ranger onesie pajama. And people didn't believe that I had it at first. So I had to take a picture of it to be like, I do in fact own this. And then, as you might suspect, enough people liked and retweeted. So
I would have done it myself.
Yeah. So
that's awesome, man. You should do that again one time. But jumping into the draft, Firm Handshake bans off the Ariel again. They don't want to play against it at all. With the recent Ariel buffs coming through, I think that's a pretty wise decision. They probably face it all the time in their scrims, so they're just like, yeah, no, not today. And then of course the Dahaka ban coming out for Naz. Dahaka is fantastic on this map, but we see the Falstead coming in as first pick for Firm Handshake, which is also the same first pick that they had last time. So maybe they're looking at the Zeratul again. What do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. We do see that Team Naz is going to move the payload with Zarya and Lucio as their 1-2 picks.
The only thing is Zeratul's not as strong against the Zarya just because of the amount of shielding she can provide, as well as Lucio. I actually like Zeratul into Lucio, but this shielding might be difficult as well. Oh, they pick up the Varian for the shielding. This is so smart. Zeratul Varian is actually really, really good at this. I love this draft so far. What are they going to look to ban, though? Did they watch the previous games? Thinking emoji. Because if they did, there's the Zarya on their team, which means they're going to be picking up another warrior. I would love to see that Tychus ban.
I agree. I think that'd be a very smart choice from them. Outside of the variant pickup, we're seeing the same principal elements so far for Firm Handshake. Variant's a solid response to this composition. You see, when you're looking down the barrel of Sound Barrier and Zarya shields, you could do worse than to pick up Variant and get that Shield Breaker talent at level 13. I think we're going to see, in general, a lot more Variant play. With the double support meta, Mortal Strike at 13 is very, very good against that. But when you see all these shields, bring out the king.
The Mouth ban, though. So they just don't want to deal with the Malfurion. He is super strong into Zeratul, plus because they have the Void Prison, obviously, right?
Yep.
And then the Twilight Dream off of it. So that's also a really good ban, but I do think we're going to see that Tychus come in for the 4-5 for Firm Handshake.
See Arthas ban. A couple of heroes to select now for the members of Team Naas. They see Variant over there. They have Zarya and Lucio. Like you said, Khaled, they gotta go for another warrior. With Arthas already being banned out, it's very plausible that it'd be a double warrior composition for Firm Handshake. So you may want to consider picking your other warrior now before what you're looking for gets snapped away. You already have your support. So I think we go for, Murden wouldn't be too shabby, something like that.
No, Murden would
a
be
ranged
good.
damage dealer.
Yep, a Nubarak as well. I would actually love to see them pick up the Tychus here. So, like, they could go a Nubarak plus Tychus. Tychus is pretty good into Variant, but it's mainly as a denial, and it would also just fit. Tychus is fantastic on this map because Odin can stall out for so long on tribute fights, but they elect to go with the Murden plus the Ragnaros. So, Ragnaros is a good response when you get tributes against you, but I don't see a whole lot of follow-up with the Sulfuras unless this last pick is something with some... basically some hit confirm or some hard CC. But now, like I said, I would love to see that Tychus come out for Firm Handshake, especially considering the fact that this is now a 3 front line and we do see the Tychus. Plus the Rhaegar, exact same draft minus the Varian. Fantastic draft from Firm Handshake. This is going to be very difficult for Naas to deal with.
I agree. I like seeing the Tychus pick up for them. Ragnaros does bring a good amount of ability damage, but I was actually a little concerned for Team Naas, because if Tychus was picked up there and they're going to round it out, they want the ability damage in Li Ming, and I like that. One thing that can happen, if you take a bunch of auto attack damage dealers and you're playing against the Varian, he could just take Warbringer at 4 instead of Shield Wall.
True.
And then once he jumps on someone, like, they're never getting away.
Yep.
So having that ability damage, if anything, it forces Varian into a position where he's like, all right, guys, like, I have to go Shield Wall. Like, most people, like, obviously Shield Wall is a talented choice these days. But if you look on the other side and you see a bunch of auto attack, I mean, you take Warbringer and you're just all over people, like, nonstop.
That's very true. Probably going to see this Shield Wall, as you said, in this game, excuse me. But what the big thing with this draft for Firm Handshake is going to be the level 13. Because Vestige on that Variant is going to be able to pick up Shattering Throw.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he's going to be able to bust through that Lucio Heroic, bust through all of those Zarya shields. So a lot of the defensive capabilities of Naas is going to be not obsolete, but limited a lot at level 13.
Yeah, and Lucio's going to be like, let's break it down. And then Varian's going to be like, actually, how about we don't do that?
Yeah, exactly. And also the global is available for Firm Handshake, and globals are so strong on this map.
We're going to see how these comps play it out. On the left side, we got the members of Team Naas. Mockery's going to be on Lucio. Veridstrum's going to be on Ragnaros. Whales be jumping around on Murden. Twamey kicking out those lasers on Zarya. And a Rubber Duck will also be throwing magic missiles and whatnot out on Li Ming.
And on the right in red is Firm Handshake again. We see D. Steves on that false dad. We got Kobe 21 on the Rhaegar. Vestige is tanking it on the Variant. We have Necromongers on Tychus and levels again on that nasty, nasty Zeratul.
Respect me.
Respect me.
As we saw last time, we see Firm Handshake send members out to their respective lanes to make sure they're not missing out on any soak. But dun. Vestige and levels hang out in the bush. Siu rotates. The bowling ball goes in. Rubber Duck comes up with nothing. And I don't think they actually saw him yet. So now Rubber Duck could be in an interesting spot. The chase is on. The teleport over the wall. Burst damage goes in. They lock him in with the slow. Li Ming waits to respawn a lot sooner than they thought they would.
And that's what I mean. Like, you cannot rotate like that. With the Zarya in the middle lane too, I would have liked to see Naas, step up and try to take some shots as the Zarya, or try to get something done. But steps up a little bit too far and gets rotated on again by this Zeratul plus Rehgar combo, and down goes the Zarya.
This drunken boxing off tempo, tempo storm, pacing from Firm Handshake is very interesting. Like, they go out, they send everyone out to their lanes at the beginning, like it's an AI match. It's like, all right, we'll just wait for the minions to show up. But then they play super aggressive. Yep. So it's like, the enemy team shows up all 5 in mid lane. And look at this, Bergstrom's the next target. He gets ripped off the board as well. 3 takedowns a minute and a half in. This is aggression.
Sorry, what did you say that Zeratul keeps yelling?
Respect me.
Right? Like, immediately rotates from the Zarya kill in this mid all the way up to that top lane, and Ragnaros is pushed up to the 50% mark in this lane, so instantly that's a dead Ragnaros. Zarya is stuck solo laning, not able to get any energy whatsoever, and this is into a global composition that gains value at 13, so this doesn't get any better for Naas.
I mean, it's going to be pretty difficult for Team Naas to find their way back in this early game, at least. They should have level 4 by the time the first tribute shows up. Neither team going for their siege camp. That's tower almost getting taken down. But yeah, we'll split off to our lanes, but we're actually just going to try to like gank your face. So once you send 5 people mid and split out, we'll find you then. That strategy's really working out. Oh, the body block from Levels is going to be enough. 4 takedowns, 2.5 minutes in the game. Respectable.
See, the other option there, Haloran, was to send Zeratul into the middle lane to catch all of that soak, and then send Rehgar to go do that siege camp on the bottom side, and then have it push with Falstad during this first shrine phase, during the first tribute phase. But instead they just decide to send Zeratul top and kill the Ragnaros, and they get 2 towers out of it, and they're actually pressuring a fort now at 2.5 minutes into the game.
They get a tower. Oh well. And potentially, at this rate, this fort before the first tribute even shows up.
Yeah,
without really a comp that you would say like, oh, they got a ton of siege pressure. They're gonna be able to take down a fort in 3 minutes. Sure, I didn't expect all that.
Scary play. That was like actually a scary play for them. But they felt it was calculated. They completely benefited from it because they get a fort off of that at 3 minutes into the game. Almost level 7's coming in.
D-Steve flies right into the lion's den, gets blown up, and that's gonna pave the way. Necromancer is gonna be the next target. The forward YOLO positioning of Falstad turns into 2 takedowns in favor of Team Naas. We were saying they need to find a way back in this early game. That's how you do it.
Yep, absolutely. That was a little bit of a misplay. By a little bit, I mean quite a big misplay there from the Falstad, flying way too aggressively. But, in situations where it is your own fault for making a play that goes sour, that's completely fine, because now this Falstad's like, okay, I can't fly like that ever again, and he's not going to make that mistake again throughout this game, well, hopefully. So coming down like that and then losing a bunch of experience because of your own misplay isn't the worst thing in the world. At least they didn't just get completely outplayed by their opponents. They send Falstad down bottom. They end up picking up the siege camp with Zeratul, and that's pushing on the bottom side of this lane into the Lucio and Li Ming.
That's an excellent bit of coaching insight there, Kalamaka. I mean, when you make an adjustment like that, it still makes the game effectively yours to lose. So hopefully we see D-Steves take note of that advice and put the brakes on the Leroy Jenkins. I'm just gonna fly in like to their face. Next tribute shows up. Kobe 21 wasting no time. Might be able to get this. The interrupt is going to be there. Wales uses his Dwarf Toss to get in there. Could be a potential target. Necromancer eating a boatload of damage. The cleanse is going to be there. The stuns from Murden will set up that takedown. Those Skullcrackers, I think.
And no follow-up from the aggressive positioning from Naas. They were actually positioned super poorly there. They could have gotten rotated on from the top side of that fight, but Firm Handshake just decided to give up the second tribute there with the loss of Tychus. So, the cleanse was also down. It's probably a good call. Falstad probably could have gotten a little bit more damage down on the bottom side, but the siege camp is just pushing and managed to almost get one of those towers.
I mean, that was surprisingly the most amount of passive play I think we've seen from Firm Handshake so far tonight. Like, the members of Team Naas was able to collapse on Tychus and stay on him for a good 15, 20 seconds, and it was just like, all right, well, where's the flank? Where's the response? But by the time it was there, Tychus was dead. So if that's something that the members of Team Naas can continue to identify, they could have a good time in this mid game.
Exactly. And they absolutely need to be looking for those because they want to get these kills. They want to get that early pressure with Zarya because she's so strong pre-13 into this variant. So, heads up play from them. Excellent job. Firm Handshake are just basically giving up these early tributes, just saying, hey, we want level 10. We don't really want to fight you guys until then. Varian comes online at level 10 as well. So they're looking for the later game.
I definitely agree. I see Twamy, he gets interrupted, but even if they do come away with this curse, with heroics around the board, they stand to get very little value, but it's not stopping him. Bergstrom almost gets out of there, tries to speed his way out, too fast, too furious or not. He gets taken down. Vestige continues to chase heroics, not too far away at all for the members of Firm Handshake, and that should help them get their first tribute of the game.
And I want to compliment the patient play of levels on the Zeratul. Again, he landed his Q plus W onto the Ragnaros and then completely backed away, Lauren. And then as soon as Ragnaros got to a point where he basically had to run away, he had maybe 10% health. We saw the Vorpal back in, auto attack, dead, and then he blinked away. Like, just fantastic. He's playing so slowly, and now like his team's completely benefiting from it. They get the 1 kill, and then they grab the tribute, and then they also have level 10. So now they're actually going to be looking at team fights.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've seen Levels play personally, and it's been really impressive to watch. He's one of those dynamic X-Factor style of players where it's like, the moment you forget about him, respect me. Like, anytime you see Team Naas start to step forward, he's like, I'm here on the flank, I'm teleporting in, and I'm jumping all over your face. If they make it further into this tournament tonight, a team could do worse than the ban Zeratul. Say that much.
So I thought that was actually a pretty big misplay there from Firm Handshake. They had the level 10 advantage plus Gust plus Void Prison, and they were all on the bottom side of the map, and they didn't take the enemy boss. First, Naas couldn't contest it because they didn't have level 10. They didn't have the expulsion zone. If Naas decided to fight that, they lost it, and they decided to trade a fort for it instead. If you get that boss pushes the fort. So no matter what way you look at it, you gain 2 things instead of 1. A little bit of a misplay from Firm Handshake there, but we see both teams now posturing with their level 10s.
Yeah, there's definitely some meat on the bone there. Bergstrom gets bursted down, forces out the early sound barrier. So that's a heroic that gets next to no value. Wales does interrupt Vestige. This could be a potential tribute for the members of Team Naas. If they're able to come away with this, they have their heroics as well. Sound barrier already used, Void Prison and the like still up. Taunt goes in. Twamy finds himself at less than half health, throws down a personal shield. Mighty Gus isolates Zarya for the moment. Expulsion zone secures their disengage. Odin shows up, starts to back away, does Tychus. Turns around, gets a good amount of poke damage on Twamy. Vestige jockeying for position, looking for the next time to jump in. Twamy is going to get healed up by Marker, who has a good amount of mana yet. But this poke action, no takedowns just yet.
And Molten Core no longer available, and Void is still up, Lauren. So the taunt goes out onto the Zarya, huge damage coming through, and then the Void on the back to get 4.
The Zach Morris timeout leaves Wales on an island for the moment. Mercury is able to jump on a tree and mount away. Dwarf Toss is going to save Murden for the moment, but it leaves Ragnaros out to dry. Lucio's going to get taken down next. The Ancestral Healing will connect. Kobe21 leading the charge. Gets the chomp on Wales, who has another Dwarf Toss in his employ. He's looking to escape, getting chased down by Levels, who doesn't have the most mana in the world. And that
now
looks like it's going to be the
boss
team
call? Are they looking for it?
Well, Levels is Hearthing back.
I think they chased Murden a little bit too long. They had Gust available again, and they don't take the boss. Maybe they're just looking to play this as safe as possible. But I definitely think that was another opportunity for them to try to steal a resource away from the enemy team.
Well, I think what's happening here, these decisions are arguably passive. I 100% agree with you there. It's like they're forcing the game down a one-dimensional path. They feel confident in their team fighting abilities. So they're like, how can we potentially lose this game? It could be over a boss call. One thing we have not yet seen from Team Naas is how they handle fighting over a boss. If I'm on the side of Firm Handshake, it's like, I like how these team fights are going. I'm just going to continue the team fight.
True. That is very true. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
I like the southern slang. I was about to say, I like that. But Bergstrom goes out, does a little bit of detective work, finds themselves in the thick of it. Levels could potentially chase down, does decide to disengage. That forces back Ragnaros. Odin is here already. Whale steps forward, gets the interrupt. Sound barrier goes in. Saves a rubber duck for the moment. Li Ming trying to back away. Levels jumps in, potentially with the scuba gear. Not able to get a takedown just yet. Drops the Void Prison on his way out. And the long-range Sophia Smash on Zeratul's face makes this one rather interesting.
That was a very ambitious play from Firm Handshake. They're trying to dive on the fort, and it actually looks like Vestige is getting caught out a little bit here. A bunch of damage coming in from the Zarya as well as the Ragnaros. Murden jumps in with the Stormbolt, but it gets immediately gusted away. An excellent disengage from Fern Handshake, and now they're just going to look to capitalize on the curse that they just picked up. I do think they were pushing in pretty far there. All they really wanted to do was capture the tribute, right? They had 13s plus tribute push. They could have even looked at a keep because we have pretty much 2 of them open, one on the top side of the map and one on the bottom side. And we actually do see Firm Handshake electing to go and take their boss in this time. What are your thoughts on this one?
It's a very curious decision. We've talked about their passive decision making with regards to the boss. They get the curse, and they waste half of it getting the boss, and they don't venture to the other side of the map at all. It leaves the waves to their own devices to try to get the value for them. This could be a huge swing in the favor of Team Naas. If this boss doesn't get a ton of damage done, and at this rate it stands to do exactly that, I mean, no damage, you've pretty much spent your curse getting a boss to get you little value, and now you're 3 tributes away from getting another curse. This is how Team Naas climbs back into this game, I think.
And it basically gave Naas 13 because they just hit 12 with that. So, you know, now they're level 13. They can actually realistically contest this boss, but it looks like they're just looking to de-push this top one. And that curse got Firm Handshake absolutely 0 structures. They might get 1 tower. No, they don't even get a single tower on the top side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those situations where it effectively feels good to play defensively. You clear out the top boss, the bottom boss gets picked up, sure, but now you can rotate and defend against this one as well. Yeah, all 5 members of Firm Handshake are going to be here now, but there was so much more on the table for Firm Handshake that if you're Team Naas, you have to feel good about what happened just now.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have the Molten Core to de-push this bottom boss as well. You know, it is a resource taken away from them, but they'll happily trade this instead of getting a keep that early into the game, you know, with that first curse. So,
well, level 16 isn't too far away, so that could be another moment that is not too shabby or sweet for Team Naas. But it does look like the members of Firm Handshake are looking to stick around here for the moment. They could potentially get jumped on. I feel like their best decision right now is to back away and get level 16, but Vestige is going to get that skull cracker put on the back of his face for a time. Whales continuing to chase and press the issue. This is a fight that Team Naas has to make something happen.
Absolutely. The jump forward and the Stormbolt onto the Tychus, but no follow-up damage. Whales taking a massive amount of damage from the Necromongers on the Tychus, and the Gust comes out, and now Firm Handshake are just looking to disengage this team fight.
I definitely think that's exactly what they're looking to do. The nice teleport is going to get Zeratul out of there because that Stormbolt was a hair away from landing. But like we were saying, that was the big moment for Team Naas to take that even tier team fight while the members of Firm Handshake are so far away from home but not getting any takedowns there. That's really tough for them.
And exactly, and in those long lanes, like, Naas can't really follow up a whole lot. You know, the Murden jumps forward, he lands the Stormbolt, but like, what is the follow-up? Is it a Sulfuras? Sure, but they're just going to cleanse it, right? Like, and then there's the re-engage with a Void Prison. So it's really difficult for Naas to take fights in these long lanes. They need to look for fights in areas, you know, that will actually be beneficial to them, like these chokes, where they can expulsion off a portion of Firm Handshake's team, and then, you know, look to just burst somebody with Li Ming combo plus the Sulfuras. But so that was their only fight, but man, it just wasn't the right location for them.
Yeah, it was definitely their potential moment. Doesn't exactly work out. Level 16 was picked up, though, for the members of Firm Handshake, so that will net a free tribute. And I'm not sure if the members of Team Naas will be able to get to level 16 by the time the next tribute shows up. So, you know, that macro play we were talking about, that potential there to swing this back in favor for Team Naas is kind of going out the window just off the soak.
I would pay Canadian dollars to watch Firm Handshake walk to this bottom lane with this siege camp, pop Odin, and siege down that keep. Please do this.
Loonies or toonies are on the line, eh?
Yeah, bud. Like, honestly, you just post up there. You just push that bottom lane, get that keep there for the boys, and you're pretty much set up for the rest of the game there, bud. No, but honestly, like, I really would have loved to see them do that, because getting a keep is super necessary on this map.
That got so Maple Leaf. I wasn't ready for it, man. Nicely done. But the next tribute is going to show up, and they elect not to pick those loonies and toonies up. But yeah, I mean, you know, we've been talking about how passive Team Naas has had to play this. With so much damage already on that bottom keep, and you have the tier advantage, why not rotate down there as 5 if you're Firm Handshake and get catapults pushing for you for the rest of the game? But that just paves the way for level 16 to get picked up. Mockery eats a boatload of damage. The taunt goes in. Have you seen Lucio? He vanishes off the map.
Let's drop the... Just kidding.
No fans of music are the members of Firm Handshake, and they're going to put the screws to Ragnaros as well. He was like, all right, guys, it was just a prank. I would like to go.
Well, hey, it didn't happen the way I wanted it to, but the pick happens on the bot side of the map, and then Firm Handshake push in with basically just their whole team and manage to grab that keep. So regardless of how it happened, it did happen, and that's a really, really good thing for Firm Handshake, because now they have the global, which is going to sit on this bottom side of the map and push in these waves relentlessly if they decide to play it that way. But it looks like they have eyes on their boss.
They rotate up there, but then the tribute shows up, and that inspires a change in direction with 2 tributes already picked up for Team Naas. I get why you'd want to just leave the boss for the moment. I'm not sure if the best play would be to, get this curse and then go back and do the boss right away. But level 16 is here for Team Naas. This is the moment. They got to try to make something happen. Wales buys the farm, trying to go in for the interrupt. He gets it, and then he gets rocked for his trouble.
Yeah, I just feel like the Zarya and Muradin there's a little bit of miscommunication between the two, because Muradin jumps in and there's no Zarya shields there to follow him up. We do see Zarya having like almost no energy this entire game. So, a lot of that damage just goes into the raw Muradin, and then he's forced to pop Avatar, but it's just not enough against this Tychus. He's got bigger they are against this double warrior, so he's just shredding through the front line of Naas.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like Wales was trying to pull a Sir William Wallace and was just like, we gotta lead the charge, guys. We gotta go in and get this interrupt. And the rest of his team weren't feeling exactly as motivated, so he was just found on an island and got roasted. But the top keep is gonna get claimed as the second curse of the game will show up. Vestige dives in deep, has his W, gets parry, gets some shield wall value, keeps himself alive and well. But at this rate, it's gonna be tough for Firm Handshake to drop this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Firm Handshake invading and taking the siege camp away from Naas. It looks like they're, just rotating to this mid with the curse to try to take this last keep. 3 keeps, Aloran. Like, it's very difficult to come back from that. The taunt goes out onto Ragnar's follow-up damage from the Zeratul. The beat gets dropped, and it looks like Firm Handshake are just wanting to get away from this fight.
Expulsion zone used as well. Orb goes across, not able to set up any sort of takedown just yet. So far, the middle keep is going to hold. Level 20 is around the corner for the members of Firm Handshake. I do believe they should just bide their time, get that tier advantage once more, consider going for the boss or something like that. The curse is going to finish, but a camp got walked all the way to the core in the top lane. That's got to get a response.
And the 60% core damage already. Valuable information just came out as well. Expulsion zone got used in that fight, so we could have even seen a snap boss, and that's going to be 20 into 17 boss with no expulsion available for Naas. We don't see them doing that, but that was pretty much a free boss no matter what, because Firm Handshake does have the gust, and like I said, no expulsion available means there's pretty much no contest for Naas.
It's almost like Firm Handshake forgot that there are 2 bosses on this map. Like, they just rotate back. I get it. You have the top and bottom lane open as far as keeps go. So that's catapults. You can go and get a boss whenever you want. But why not just sit in a bush? Like, why not just wait? If you're not going to start the boss, just bait it out. Someone goes around. Because the core's already down to 58%.
Yeah.
So I'm just surprised that they were waiting this long.
See, and like I mentioned this earlier, and it's no disrespect to any amateur team whatsoever, but I do see the biggest difference between HGC teams and amateur teams is the ability to close out games. So we saw Naas invade, take siege camp away from their enemies. They take the bruiser camp away from their enemies. They essentially paint the entire map red, which is not even necessary. Look at this bottom siege camp. It's not even going to hit the core before the end of the game. And then we see mid is just going to be crashing into a keep as well. So stuff like that, where you're essentially just wasting time. The gust does go out too, because the expulsion probably just a trade.
Yeah, I mean, you see the sound barrier, you haven't even really engaged just yet. Why not throw the Mighty Gust, make sure that that hero gets no value for Lucio, and then collapse in with your boss. The taunt goes in, Twamy's caught way forward. 3 members stuck in the Void Prison on Zach Morris' timeout. A rubber duck gets hunted down by levels. Bergstrom and Wales, the last remaining members. You see Ragnaros blow up. The GG's already going to get called. And Firm Handshake looking strong.
Okay, so the siege camp did hit the core at the end there, but yeah, point still made. Excellent force, the 20 into 18 for Firm Handshake to get the last remaining kills there to finish out the game. I love their call to grab the boss on the top side. What I really wanted to talk about was the early game from Naas. We saw I think it was 3 or 4 stacked mid with the Zarya, but they didn't do anything with it. Zarya went Feel the Heat, which is an excellent talent for pushing structures early game, as well as into multiple warriors or melee assassins. Mm-hmm. But all we saw was Zeratul and Rhaegar rotate bottom for Firm Handshake, catch out the Li Ming, get the first blood at like 30 seconds into the game, and then rotate mid and clear out the Zarya. What we really needed to see from Naas is to keep like multiple heroes in that mid lane. Bottom's fine. Bottom's going to be chilling there and crashing eventually. Like, don't worry about bottom. Push out that mid lane. Firm Handshake can't out-trade you with the Zeratul that early into a Zarya. So you literally just push into the minion wave aggressively. You get a bunch of energy for Zarya, and then push in structures. And then send that whole 3-man rotation, or even 4, or sorry, 3, of course, because you want mid for the soak. And then start taking structures bottom, like pressure with that Zarya. But we just saw them getting walked on by the pressure that Zeratul was putting out during the early game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's that drunken boxing style at the beginning where it's like, all right, we're gonna send people out through our lanes, and we're just gonna get ready to soak. Oh wait, actually, we're on the hunt. We're just out here looking to get kills in rotation after you split away from the mid lane, and that definitely paved the way for Firm Handshake. I think there's a lot of potential here with this team. Like, we were talking about some of the decisions that could have been made as far as the snap boss decisions and the difference that you see at the pro level and amateur level as far as decision making goes. They know how to make decisions. They get these snap ganks at the beginning part of the game. If they can bring that lethality to queuing up the decisions that they make on the macro level, this could be a very dangerous team to watch out for.
Absolutely, I agree. Like, they're executing their team fights really well. I really want to see how this team performs without levels on the Zeratul, because, you know, sometimes you will see teams that are fairly one-dimensional. So, like, if any teams have been watching Firm Handshake so far, like, I would be snap banning that Zeratul all day, baby. Like, no chance would I be playing against that Zeratul in a game. So, but I would like to see how he performs on some other heroes.
I think we're going to find out, because if I'm playing against Firm Handshake, I'm definitely interested in a Zeratul ban. Show levels a different form of respect. Just ban that hero out and see how far his hero pool